How are ya? How are ya? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to sound like that, man. I'm from I'm from South Texas. We don't sound like we're from Boston and New York and um, Kentucky. Nothing like that. Okay, we're Texans. We speak the best English. Okay. All right. So as you can see, the title is advertising. Okay, and I'm going to go over a couple of different ways to advertise. All right. Some you may not agree with, some you may. But it's all about marketing. Mowing the lawn for free is marketing expense, right? So let me give you the first example of that. So twice within a week, I had, well, one, a young couple, their mom came to visit them for Christmas, and she was already on hospice, but for some reason was able to kind of get up and move around and get in a wheelchair and all that stuff. But she ended up 9 days later. This old man that always sat in his garage and just looked at everything and diddled with stuff. He was a very tall guy, dude. Like, I mean, he's like 6'5" or something, very big. And he was, he was obviously overworking. But besides the point, he he ended up, and and I, as a neighbor, would I console him and stuff, and so I know you're going through a hard time, and I'll go ahead and you're gonna have people over, no charge, right? So I went in. All right, now the first, the younger couple with the mother, I didn't expect them to really give me a contract, um, but they invited us over for dinner, and I got and the wife's from, her family's from Peru, and we got like some really cool Peruvian food, which was like no one ever cooks heart. Last time I ate heart was with I ate chicken fried deer heart. You kind of cut it open, flatten it out, stuff, chicken fry, right? It's pretty good. It tastes just like regular meat. It's a muscle, just like the meat you eat. So that was kind of a unique experience, and I got to indulge in the culture of Peruvians, and they were going to play poker, some kind of Peruvian poker or something. But apparently, Peruvians are into like poker, right? So there was a big poker game, but man, I'd been working all day. I don't know, man. I did like 6 lawns the day before, just different things, pruning and scalping and stuff like that. Um, but I ended up leaving, and then I told the other lady, I go, look, I'm just gonna come and I'm gonna clean up your yard for you, for your guests when your guests come over. So, you have a nice clean yard and stuff, and I did that, and it led to a contract, right? So, I mean, did I do it on purpose? Yes. Is this the thing that I think that people would agree or disagree with me? I don't know, but I'm out to make money, and so I put myself out there, got one contract, okay, and they're not big yards, they're less than a quarter of an acre. So I mean, and these are probably even smaller than my yard's, like just right under a quarter of an acre, so they're probably smaller than my yard. So probably between an eighth and a quarter, right? Everyone understands fractions. 1/8 of a yard is smaller than a quarter, because a quarter, compared to the way you compare them, is you multiply the top and the bottom number by 2, and you get 2/8. Right? You have 2/8, and that makes 1/4. Okay, just in case you didn't know. I'm a former teacher, so and now lawn maintenance landscaper guy. I'm actually a former uh, inpatient mental health assistant, you know, but it doesn't pay, the civilian sector don't pay like the government So I'm not doing it anymore. Anyhow, so I that's one way, just kind of volunteer and put yourself out there, right? Um, Another way, and what gets me, um, people people are looking for people to take care of their yards, and I went to this one cleanup, and I was like, well, this will take me half a day to do. I mean, it was a lot of work, and I was tired afterwards. But she's on contract now, right? And she had been getting bids for like $400 to do her front and her back. And she goes, one guy just bid me $200 for the back. And I'm like, I coached, I'll do the whole thing for $200. Well, now I have a contract, and that's behind me. And it took me half a day to do. I didn't, probably didn't make the optimal money, but now I got someone on my route as a contract, right? So that's another way to advertise to think about. And especially if you're hurting for business. See, I was just starting out, and that was kind of what I had in mind. Um, so I just put myself out there and put my best foot forward, right? Um, so another thing that I got is I got the door magnets, right? I mean, and I got cards. It was one of those internet sales things from New Zealand. I can't even remember what the heck they call it. But you you put your yeah. I got some cards and got some door magnets. I mean, it was like $20 for like 600 uh, cards or 1,000 cards, and two door magnets are $26. And and I got a little card holder, business card holder. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because it's leading me to my next point. So, and something else I did to kind of make me look more professional, to kind of draw attention to myself. So I got road cones to put out next to my truck. You're supposed to have those, anyhow. But I feel like, and you got the ramps coming out of the back of your truck, I mean, because I'm just a solo operation. And so I put the cones out, and it just draws attention to my truck with door magnets on it, right? And and sure, and it paid off yesterday. The $26 paid off. I got another contract. Didn't have nothing planned today. I'm gonna have to go drum up. I was gonna have to go drum up business today, but the business came to me today. Okay, and it's a leaf cleanup. It's a lot of leaves, but I went ahead and I told the guy to, I gave him a fairly decent price. And he goes, well, what about if I pay cash? And so I was like, well, that's better. So I knocked a little bit more off. So, because cash is king, man. We need to hide that stuff from, people, because we pay enough taxes. Okay? That's my opinion, right? So, anyhow, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I did. So that's another way. And so I'm driving out to my next job. And so that was really a winner. And then, of course, putting yourself out there. Like, I've had so much work generated. So like I've got like 40 people just in my neighborhood alone, and that's just since like October, November, okay, and maybe September, and they brag about me in the group forums, in the neighborhood forums. So and this guy that brought me out to the smaller town north of here used to live in my neighborhood, and he saw people bragging about me and my work, and called and contacted me, and I was like, cool. And then, which led to this other job today. And this is like the off year. This is like after a freeze here in South Texas, most people no longer have lawns. They have some people. See, in most of the trees, we have little tiny leaves. We have live oaks, but there are some people that have the big. Like I got one of the big leaf oak trees. I can't remember what you call it. It's a 10 oak or something like that. But so internet forums and doing a good job and have people bragging about you on like Facebook forums. That's good. So, and that's just all, and that helped me. That in itself is what spawned me to about 30 customers, almost like within weeks. Okay, and so I don't know how many times I've been mowing and have someone drive and I get customers, and usually they say, "Hey man, can you hit my front yard while you're doing this?" It's like right next door, and I go, "Yeah, sure." And I end up hitting their front yard, doing a good job, and then I end up getting the backyard, right? And now, and this one guy, man, I mean, I charged it, dude. I charged. I go, "Man, your backyard's a wreck, dude." I mean, I didn't say it like that, but I go, "There's a lot of debris back there, man." And I ended up cleaning it. And that's something else that I want to bring up. Get you one of them gray trash cans. I think they're 30, 35 gallons, and something, and then in some of the big old contractor bags, and um, just go. Most people want their yard to look nice, and before that they want it to look cut, more or less. I'm just going to put that out there. It's better to look nice than to look mowed. Because if it looks mowed and there's like a bunch of, and you're like mowing over paper, but that plastic trash can that I take with me has been the biggest asset in getting tips and all kinds of stuff. I mean, just like compliments. So when I started doing that, people watch. Like there's a guy there, and I took it to a guy, and normally he's in my neighborhood, so they get a break. Okay, this guy tipped me $30. You know why? Because I took my plastic can out there. Okay, and I cleaned up his garden that he wasn't using anymore for his vegetable garden. He had a bunch of old cucumbers and like zucchini in there that were like big and dried out. And I just went and cleaned the garden up for him. I found his gardening tools. I stacked them up against the wall. Yeah, he tipped me $30, and I was there. I mean, I was there for maybe 30 minutes. I made $75 in 30 minutes. Okay, so that's advertising, right? You're making yourself look good, right? So, still no one's here. So here's something else. This is cardstock, and I get it in the full sheet, and I double print these images on the sheet, and then I get them cut in half. But it's thick, right? So what I can do when I go canvassing, I haven't had to canvas because I've been busy. And for me, busy is making about $250 a day because I'm retired and I don't want to kill myself. I mean, I will if I need to, but what I do is when I come up to a door, is I stick this in there, I stick this in the door and push it inside, right? So when they open the door, it falls down and they see it and they're like, oh wow, well, an advertisement, right? This right here. So that's what I do, and that's another form of advertising. This is something that I started doing when I did door-to-door sales for different things. I door-to-door sales for about 4 years, and I did okay. But that little cardstock thing where you can cram it inside the door, a big yellow sheet. It's cheap. It's not business cards. It's cheaper than business cards, and and it just falls down. And it's not a business card. It's going to be big. So if they throw it somewhere, they're going to see this big yellow card in their house somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I did need my lawn mowed," and that happens too all the time. Whenever I do that, whenever I go and hand out about 25 of them, 25 to 30, I get one or two lawns every time. So, and sometimes that place I hadn't done in like 2 months. I didn't put them there in 2 months because I know what part of the neighborhoods I do. Like it's all been my neighborhood's pretty, my subdivision's pretty big. So anyhow, so put your best foot forward. You have a good day, and God bless.